And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Underground by Love City, man. Today we got the one and only DJ Drip, man.
What's good? What's good? How y'all feeling?
All
Thanks for
right,
having me, man. Thank
all
you.
right, no. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for stopping by, bro. So we kick off the interview just saying some basic questions I ask everybody. First one is like how long you been DJing?
I've been DJing 4 years, going on 5 real soon. Summertime, make it about 5 years.
All right. What made you want to DJ?
Really just like seeing how a crowd reacts to a song. You know what I mean? Just controlling their energy, just going to concerts as a youngin', just watching the DJs do their thing before the opening artists, and just seeing how they, you know what I mean, turn up a crowd. Just really like interested me. That's really what brought me into wanting to be a DJ.
Is there any particular? Did you have like a favorite DJ growing up?
I would really just listen to Ferris a lot on the radio, DJ Metro, DJ Flipside. Those are like really like the three first DJs that like really caught my attention, like B96, Power 92, really.
So Chicago
Yeah.
DJs, right? So where you from, bro? You from Chicago?
No, I'm from East Chicago, Indiana. So like borderline Illinois, Indiana, like 30 minutes away. But
All right. So people like for those who don't know, like Indiana is like the bordering state to Illinois, and like East Chicago, Hammond, Gary, and in a way, it's not Chicago, but in a way, it's almost like an extension.
right,
Of it, right?
Chicago influence, Chicago based.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. I'm not trying to like insult any people from
Yeah,
Indiana
for
because I know
sure.
there's some people that are like, no, bro, we're not Chicago. You know what I'm saying?
nah.
But it's all the same type of vibe.
Right,
though,
for
you
sure.
know?
Yeah.
So when you decided like, okay, I want to try DJing, how'd you go about like even like physically starting?
Well, when I first started DJing, like I didn't have nothing but some little speakers that like my mom, my dad had got me for Christmas. Like, you know what I mean, just sitting in my room. My best friend, he had threw a party for his 15th birthday, and I was like, yo, I got some speakers I could bring. You know what I mean? I was gonna play it off my phone. When I got there, his mom had like this desktop computer downstairs. So I was like, should we just hooked it up to that? I opened up 2 little YouTube tabs, and I was just like typing on the computer all night. Had the party busting, and it kind of just went from there. Like we did another one, same thing, and then like one of my other classmates, like she was like, "Yo, I want you to DJ my party." That was like the first time I ever heard like the word DJ, like you know what I mean, like
Affiliated
right with
you.
me, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, DJ!" Like I was like, "Well, all I got is these little speakers. I don't got no
Right,
laptop." You know what I
right.
mean? She was like, "You can use my laptop, like just you know what I mean."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Cool." That's how I did that, and then my grandparents ended up buying me like a laptop for Christmas later on that year, and then that was like really my first like piece of equipment, just the laptop, like just DJing off the trackpad, like on the computer program, like a free DJ computer program, and really just going from there. And then, you know what I mean? I was making my little $20, $50, or whatever. I was just telling them, throw me whatever. You know what I mean? I really just wanted to party at the time, just play music.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, like I bought like a small, cheap little like $200 turntable system, like a cheap speaker from Guitar Center for like $80. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
just from there, just worked my way up, but just made use of what I had at the time. They were perfect for what I was doing. You know what I mean? The type of parties, like little small,
Yeah.
20, 30, 40 people parties, and it just worked out. You know what I mean? And gradually, as I got bigger, just upgraded my equipment.
That's dope. That's dope. Yeah. So that's different because obviously like there's an age gap between me and you, right? And I remember me growing up, the DJs were like the coolest dudes, but to be a DJ, like it took a lot of investing because you had like two actual turntables, all them crates of records,
Yeah.
and so it was more kind of exclusive.
Yeah.
So what's dope about now is like you don't need all that. You still need some like you
Some
needed
of the
your laptop, right?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, though, like you still gotta have the skill. You know,
Yeah.
you gotta have the creativity with or without that stuff. So
For
that's what's
sure.
up, bro. So like how you said when you first heard somebody tell you like, "Come DJ for me." Was that the moment you make you feel like, all right, man, I'm a DJ?
No, it was actually a long time before I felt like I was a DJ. It was really like a moment. I had been DJing, you know what I mean, DJing for really like a year, maybe a year and a half. I was super high with my people one day, you know what I mean, and I was just thinking a lot, and I was like, yo, like, I was just asking myself, like, are you really a DJ? Like, what makes you a DJ? If someone were to come up to you right now and ask you, you know what I mean, how can you say you're a DJ? Like, what do you have to prove for? Just a couple high school house parties, you know what I mean? And I was like, yo, like, I really got to get on top of this. So I started throwing my own parties out my crib, you know what I mean? Like, out my crib, and then I started, like, booking halls. I started making mixes. Like, I really started taking it serious, you know what I mean? I just started doing my homework, doing my research, and, you know what I mean, gradually as the shows went on, as I progressed, you know what I mean? You can just tell when you are who you say you are, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just I never really had one of those moments where it's like, okay, I'm a DJ. Kind of just like, you know what I mean? After working so hard and doing so many things, it's like, yeah, I'm a DJ. You know what I mean? Like the work shows for itself. But it was definitely a moment in time where I had to sit down and it was like, what makes you a DJ? You know what I mean? Yeah, anyone could play some music at a party and call themselves a DJ, but what establishes you as a real DJ? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you was throwing parties out your cribs and you was taking a risk, right? So anytime you believe in something, there's a risk involved because sometimes you see something that other people don't see,
Right.
and you believe like you can picture yourself doing it when other people can't picture it. So a lot of people take financial risks, they put money up,
Yeah.
now knowing that they're gonna get it back. For you at a young age, you took the risk of having a hosting an event at your house, people coming and tearing the house up.
Yeah.
So did your parents know about these parties?
Yeah, they'd be upstairs just like, you know what I mean, door closed, like just chilling, like looking out the window, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We would make sure everything was cool. It was really never no problems, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was cool. And it was a straight shot, you know what I mean? Just the side of the crib, come through the back, go downstairs. It was, you know what I mean, right there. The basement was big enough. It wasn't really that. Looking back, it wasn't really that big, but in the time, you know what I mean, you crammed 50, 60, 70 people in there, you know what I mean? Looking back, it's like, yo, like, it's crazy. But yeah, like, they would let me throw parties in the crib. It was real cool about it. And yeah, like, gradually, like, once it got to the point where, like, you just knew you couldn't, you know what I mean? It's a line outside, a line down the street. My mom, she's like, you gotta get to tell these people to leave, you know what I mean? And I had to send one of my homies out there. He's just telling people all night, yo, you can't party full, you know what I mean? Yeah. And at that point, I was like, okay, it's time to, you know what I mean, take it to the next level and just start booking halls and start, you know what I mean, finding little underground spots to throw these parties at, or bigger houses, you know what I mean, whatever we could find at the time.
Yeah, so when was that? When was the first time you threw something that was like you felt like, okay, this is an event?
It was my 17th birthday. It was my golden birthday. So I had rented out this, it was like this brand new hall. You know what I mean? It was a brand new hall in like Hammond. Super nice, huge stage. And yeah, I went in, told them it was my golden birthday party. We're going to have a birthday party, you know what I mean? Like, they're thinking just a regular birthday party, friends, family. And we just filled it. We just filled it. It was crazy. That's when like XXX, he was like real popping with the Look At Me, you know what I mean? He was still alive, and that song was like in its prime, like right around that time. That's when I had like threw my first like real event, you know what I mean? And it was crazy. I like packed it out. It was like 350 people. It was crazy. So, and after that, they were like, you know what I mean? No one was really throwing parties like that. Like, there was some people doing their thing, but they were a little bit older, you know what I mean? They were just in a different area of the city, but like not really no one as young as me doing something, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So like, did you see somebody else doing it, or how did you come up with that idea? Or did it just happen organically? Like, man, I'm gonna just have a birthday party, and then it turned into that.
No, I knew I wanted to have a big party, but it was like I had the vision. I knew the kind of party I wanted. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I put together a dope flyer. You know what I mean? I threw a couple local artists on there, like one other DJ. You know what I mean? From the same area. Had them all share a flyer and just put it on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, you know what I mean? Had all my friends share it. They, you know what I mean? They knew where to go. It was nothing really popping like that. Like, it was no parties being thrown like that. So
right.
At the time, still even now, barely. So
how did the city respond? How did Hammond? Did you have any issues?
No, I had no issues. Like, it was cool. It was in a hall, you know what I mean? Like, we had security working the door, you know what I mean? The staff was there. It was just like, they were kind of like amazed. They were not even amazed, just like surprised by like the type of party it was. So
that was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
How have you grown since that time?
Well, at that time, I was just still doing like, you know what I mean, high school parties, house parties, just, you know what I mean, trying to build my name, working on my sound, working on mixing. And I feel like since then, like, you know what I mean, I've really found my sound, you know what I mean? I've progressed like a crazy amount, like something I'd never be able to picture, you know what I mean? Just doing concerts and doing clubs. Like, I could even say like taking over like the Chicago underground scene, you know what I mean? Like, that was something I never expected. You know what I mean? Me being from Indiana and not knowing anyone out here, like whatsoever, didn't know anyone from Chicago. So for me, just to be in the position I'm in right now, you know what I mean? It's hard. It was a lot of hard work, but definitely a lot of progress.
The thing that's interesting to me about you is that you going to school for this, right?
Yeah.
For the music business.
Mm-hmm.
But like I was telling you earlier, you're already in the business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you could probably teach a few classes in there already, but
sure.
you're a student, you know. So that I mean, that's dope to me. What school do you go to?
Columbia College in Chicago, downtown Chicago.
All right. So for those who don't know, Columbia is like an elite school for like creators, right? For all type of creators, music, like what? Like, can you tell us?
They got actors, singers, dancers, photographers, DJs, producers, like architecture, engineering, just everything you could think of. They got it there, like drawing, art, like just the sign language. Like they got everything. Different languages. They're teaching Chinese, Japanese. You know what I mean? They got everything. Like everything you could think of. They got like social media marketing, like just everything.
Yeah. So like I was telling you too, I got an old friend of mine that has a digital marketing company, and most of his interns come from Columbia. And sometimes I'm talking to these youngsters, and they're going to Columbia, kind of like trying to figure out what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, that's an expensive place to be trying to figure out what you want to do, right?
Right.
And sometimes I feel bad for most likely their parents who's paying for that, because the music business is a tough business.
Yeah,
and like I told you before, you don't really need this to go to school for it. But I think it's dope that you are going to school, because, like we talked about earlier, I'm pretty sure you're realizing that a lot of what they're teaching you already know, as opposed to these other kids that they're like blind. They don't know nothing. And you already have a business that's going on with that. You already have your brand, which is you. So you're gonna take the actual knowledge that they're teaching you now, and I just think, bro, like you're gonna do big things, man. So how do you feel about that whole aspect, right? Because I'm pretty sure you see there's students that are in the class with you, and you're probably looking at them like, you didn't know that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's not, you know what I mean? Like I've been there before, you know what I mean? Been in their position, so it's like, you know what I mean? I once knew nothing, and it's really just, I got my foot in the door at an early age with this, you know what I mean? It's just an early time, and it's a blessing, but it's just like I'm learning everything by the book. So the things that I've already done, I'm already, you know what I mean? I'm learning about the things but I'm learning how to do it properly, you know what I mean, step by step. And you know what I mean, sometimes it takes me back a step, so I'm like, okay, this is how I could do this better, you know what I mean, this is how I do this next time, this is why I went wrong doing this with that, this is how I was supposed to do it. And it's even things, don't get me wrong, it's things that I learned that like I had no idea about, so that way when I get to that point, I can, you know what I mean, I know what to do, and I know how to do it correctly.
Is there anything that sticks out that you're like, damn, I never knew that you learned?
Not really anything I could think of, but like I learned everything, like more than just business. Like I learned about marketing. I learned about like the roots of hip hop.
When I was a kid, when I was in elementary, I'm old, bro. Like in the '80s, I remember breakdancing. Like I was like 6, 7 years old, and I remember where everybody didn't listen to hip hop. You know, we're in Chicago, so the big thing was house music.
Right.
So it was just like, it was like a new thing, and to see like what it is now, and in hip hop, and even in house music, the DJ was like the star.
Yeah.
You know, they were like they were who people came to see.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and to listen to.
Yeah.
And so it's dope that you like you get a grasp of that. Do you think there's still any of that now? Because I think in recent years the DJ actually made like a little bit of a comeback, especially like in like EDM, you know?
Right. So I'm actually learning about this right now. Actually, one of my homework assignments was just about this. So the DJ kind of got like kicked off, you know what I mean? Like the spotlight of the show back then, you know what I mean? It was like you said, it was all about the DJs, everyone coming to see the DJ, and they had MCs, you know what I mean? Talking, making rhymes, hyping up the crowd, interacting with the crowd, getting them, you know what I mean? Engaged, and they took that and they turned it into rap, you know what I mean? And now everyone's like, well, we don't need a DJ to rap over these beats. We got this little recorder right here. We just press this button and start rapping.
Right.
So once rappers figure that out, then they start blowing up off the music, you know what I mean? Now they're making music, and they kind of just forget about the DJ. They just got them to playing the show in the background. Like you said, like DJs definitely, I wouldn't say made a comeback, you know what I mean? They've always been important. They've always been in the background, you know what I mean? But like you said, like the whole EDM era, you know what I mean? That's so new, you know what I mean? So definitely like something like huge music festivals is definitely DJs play a big role, you know what I mean? And still even to this day, breaking records and just, you know what I mean? Like connecting with artists and whatnot, and just they play a big role, you know what I mean?
Yeah, even just today, right, where we were talking earlier with Lito, and you're showing him some stuff, and you told him like, yeah, you know, I opened up, and he asked like, were you a rapper?
Yeah.
And then you're like, no. So then he's like, so what do you do? Because
Right.
he's seen the crowd going crazy.
Right.
And then he told him, like, I DJ.
Mm-hmm.
So you actually on stage just DJing to the crowd.
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
part of the show.
Right.
And so that's kind of like what I was talking. I'm old enough to remember, like, I remember those fests. It was like a DJ event, you know,
Right.
all DJs from across the city coming to a festival, whether it be in Humboldt Park, whether it be in Pilsen.
Right.
You know, they set up the big stage on the street, and you know, every neighborhood had their DJ represent. So
That's dope.
so yeah, that was funny to hear that today. Like, what are you shooting for? What are some goals that you got for yourself, like in the near future, and then some like in down the road type stuff? Is it, you know, obviously, well, when big DJs that come to mind as far as like that become successful, is like a DJ Envy, a DJ Khaled,
Right.
where I don't even really see them actually DJ no more, but that's what built them.
Yeah.
Is that something that you're striving for long term?
Yeah, that's definitely something I'm striving for long term. Just like that, for doing it better. You know what I mean? Taking what they're doing it better. There's so many things, you know what I mean, this DJ thing can take me to, you know what I mean? Just being an A&R, you know what I mean? Owning my own record label, owning my own club. I want to own my own club by the time I'm 23. Like, downtown, I want to call it Drips. You know what I mean? The girls call, where you at? Yeah, Drips, you know what I mean? Something like that. So, I want to own my own nightclub. Just, you know what I mean? I want to manage other artists. I want to put together tours. That's my focus in school, is live touring. So setting up tours, setting up dates, you know what I mean? Just all the money behind it, all the business side, the insurance that goes behind it, and you know what I mean? All the fees, everything, just travel, just promotion, marketing, everything that goes behind it. But like my next couple goals are just I want to conquer the 21 plus scene, but as, you know what I mean, as a youngin', like as you know, a lot of the DJs that are doing their thing in the club and on the radio, they're a little bit older, you know what I mean?
So like you ain't even 21 yet.
No, I'm not 21.
So like we were talking about earlier, right? I went away for a while, and the reason I bring this up a lot is just because it's different when you get dropped into an environment. You notice a lot of things that people don't even realize, because you know they've been in it the whole time. They never had to leave. So when you leaving and coming back, seeing that there's still some of the same DJs on the radio from when I left. I was gone for a whole decade, and I ain't knocking them. They're still eating. They're doing what they love. But to me, it was like almost a little bit sad. Like, damn, bro, like you're still doing
doing the same thing.
You know, even though it'd be a lot of people that kill for that job or whatever, but it's like in my mind, and I'm not knocking nobody, bro. It's just in my mind, the way I think is like I feel like I gotta grow, right? And it just showed to me like they really didn't grow in 10 years. They're still doing that, and I'm not comfortable being in the same position for a long time. Even if I conquered, I dominated. All right, cool. Now I need to go find the next thing, and I need to set the table for somebody else to come take this seat. You know, I can't be here forever. I got to move around.
Exactly.
So when you said that, you know, a lot of the dudes are like they're older. Yeah, definitely, bro. Like they need some.
They need the youth.
They need the youth, bro. Whatever industry that you're in, bro. If the young people are not involved in it, whether they know it or not, that industry's dying.
It's not gonna flourish.
It's not, bro. And like I do a lot of youth mentoring. I work with a lot of young people, and a lot of the reason that I enjoy doing it, because I like the energy, right? A lot of people my age, they're kind of like they're set in their way. This is it. This is just what I'm gonna do.
Burnt out,
I'm just like I'm not trying to do anything new. I'm not, and that to me is just like nah, bro. I feel if I'm not growing, I almost feel like I'm just dying slow. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even living no more. So that's why I enjoy being around like young people, because you know they got that energy, they got that drive, and I need that. I need it for me, you know. So it keeps me pushing. Like, okay, how can I grow? How can I? What's my vision? You know, what's my creativity? So let's talk about the pandemic, bro. 2020 was a motherfucker for a lot of businesses. A lot of plans done went in the trash.
Yeah.
How did it affect you, bro? Like as far as being a DJ and what you do?
So I love telling this story because a lot of people just expect me to be like, yo, there's no parties, you know what I mean? I was barely DJing. Which for like the first 2 months, 3 months, I really wasn't DJing, and that really like gave me the time to like really sit down and work on my sound a lot more, you know what I mean? Just stuck in my bedroom, just me and my DJ stuff, just really working on my sound, you know what I mean? At that time, every single DJ was going live on Instagram, every single one. Of course, I hopped on the wave, you know what I mean? Here and there, just doing my thing. I let people join, you know what I mean, turn up with me, but it really gave me a chance to just sit down and just like appreciate music, you know what I mean, and listen to the other DJs and how they're playing, you know what I mean, because the only time I would hear other DJs when I'm going to other clubs and, you know what I mean, hear them for an hour, but like, I really got to sit down and see how these DJs are working, how they're marketing themselves, how they're, you know what I mean, adapting, how they're, you know what I mean, just keep going, and it really like showed me how to get it on social media, and not even just that, just how to appreciate, you know what I mean, what you have in the time, you know what I mean? So really all I had was me and my music. That's really all I could do was just focus on my craft. And it really helped. Those 2-3 months really like brought me back to life as far as the DJ aspect, you know what I mean? It really like put a new life into me, you know what I mean? Just figuring that out. And then I think it was like May. Yeah, like late May, early June. I think the first party I did, it was in like this parking lot of a warehouse. It had to be like 5,000 people, just a huge parking lot, the biggest parking lot you could imagine, just behind this big warehouse in Chicago Heights. Everyone pulled up. My boy MJ, Vinny, Chris, they all told me pull up. I pulled up with like 2 speakers, had them up on the floor. And yeah, put them on the floor, put my DJ thing in between them. Just turned it up. It was crazy. And after that, my homie MJ, he was just throwing parties on the block party, like just crazy block parties. Like they were making the news, you know what I mean? It was just there like just turning up, like the whole city's there, and the cops are just in there monitoring everything, you know what I mean? So many people can't do anything. Yeah. So COVID, like, I was definitely living, like it was definitely fun. I was definitely doing my thing. There was definitely parties going on, you know what I mean? Yeah. As bad as it sounds, shit, people want to party. People don't want to be in the crib, you know what I mean? That long. We stood in the crib while it was cold, you know what I mean? February through April, early May, and after that, you know what I mean? They want to get out the crib. You can't stay in the crib too long. Right.
So it might have almost even brought like some extra energy because people been cooped up.
It was, and that first party back was crazy. It was crazy, so crazy. So definitely, we was definitely partying still doing our thing, trying to find a way around it. You know what I mean?
So what do you think you're doing different now, post COVID, that you probably would have never did before, but that because of the pandemic though it made you look at things differently?
Definitely the way like I use social media, like just being consistent on it. You know what I mean? Like every time someone like opens their phone, I want something, whether it's my story, a post, someone reposting me. I just always want to be in someone's face. You know what I mean? Post COVID, like I learned to appreciate the little things more. You know what I mean? The little parties I'm doing, just learn to appreciate it that much more because it can all be taken from you, like all just like that. You know what I mean? Like, I was doing crazy events. I was doing, you know what I mean? I was touring. I was doing homecomings for schools, for colleges, doing crazy warehouse parties, and it was just like, it was just going like that. So it really just like, you go from being in front of thousands of people to just by yourself doing nothing. And, you know what I mean? It's just like, damn, like, is it even fun anymore? You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's kind of what I was at. I was like, damn, like, but I just had to reshift my focus and just come back to what it came down to, and it's the music itself. And I just had to sit, and I made some of my best mixes during COVID. Sat there and just made mixtapes and just perfected my sound, you know what I mean? And like it really helped me. Like it really helped me. I thank those months, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So like, where can people like listen to some of these mixes? You know what I'm saying? Like,
on my SoundCloud, just type in soundcloud.com/theonlydjdrip. The links in my bio on my Instagram, my TikTok. Yeah.
And all your handles are the same?
Yeah, everything's The Only DJ Drip. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I don't really use Facebook like that, but if you got me, you got me. TikTok, The Only DJ Drip. SoundCloud, everything's
right. It's funny, bro, because like I said, I be around a lot of young people, right? But I'm also older, so I'm around people my age. And a lot of young people say that, like, yeah, I didn't know, I don't really fuck with Facebook. Yeah. But, and I tell them, like, you know, Facebook is the biggest platform there is, right? Yeah. So, like, don't be against it.
Yeah, no,
you know
definitely. I you know what I mean? I do my thing on Facebook. I'm just like, I'm real focused on, like, I've always been focused on Instagram. Like, always, so I'm real big on trying to grow my Instagram platform. You know what I mean? Facebook is just like a lot of people go in there just to talk about things that
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
What I mean, my Instagram and all my things I have are all business related. You know what I mean? I want to all be business. Like you know what I mean?
Right.
People I follow, the people I follow are all people who I can work with, who I want to work with in the
Right.
future, who I've worked with in the past. Facebook is just kind of like your local community of friends. Plus, you know what I mean, your
Right.
business friends, which is cool. You know what I mean? It's more of a social thing, like social personal life. But you know what I mean? When you
Yeah,
working,
yeah,
I just you know what I mean?
No,
I got
for
other
sure.
focus. And I'll throw my little profile pictures on there. You know what I mean? Some DJ pictures here and there just to keep it updated. But I really don't use it like
Right.
that.
Right, just don't be absent from it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
But I feel all your energy. So you want to tell people about the TikTok story you were telling me?
Oh yeah. So I just hopped on TikTok like just about a month ago, and I was house sitting for my boy, and he had some DJ equipment, and I was just you know what I mean, I was just making mixes, and I had threw one on Snapchat, and it was like throw it on TikTok. So I was like, all right, like just let me do it. I wasn't doing anything. I was like, all right, cool. I probably had like 30 followers on TikTok, just like regular friends. You know what I mean? No post whatsoever. Never made a post. So I just threw it up. Got a couple, you know what I mean? Maybe just 100 views at the time. I threw up another. I think I was posting like 2 or 3 a day, like the whole time I was there. And gradually they'll pick up like 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. And then I had did this party maybe about like 3 weeks ago, and I put it up, and then I was just like, this is what a Chicago party looks like. So all I put, this is what a Chicago party looks like. And the next clip was like just me DJing a party, just the crowd going crazy to Back in Blood by Dirk Pusheisty. And they was going crazy, and then I posted it. I hopped in the shower, I got out, and I was already at like 10K, and I was like, whoa, you know what I mean? I'm starting to get all these follows, these comments, and before I knew it, it was just blowing up, and my account had hit like 4,000 or 5,000 follows like within like a day. And I was like, well, sure. I was like, okay. I was like, well, we see what type of content they want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we did it again. You know what I mean? Posted some more. Didn't do as good as the first one, but I was like, all right. You know what I mean? They was messing with the Dirk song, so I was like, well, let me do a little Dirk mix. You know what I mean? Did a little Dirk mix. Put it up. It ran up to like 260,000 views. Like my followers just going crazy, and this is like the first time like I'm really going viral. Like really, you know what I mean? I've done some viral things before. You know what I mean? Seen a couple thousand views, couple hundred, but like now we're talking hundreds of thousands. Like followers, like every time I'm refreshing, it's like 50 followers, 50. I'm like, whoa, like, you know what I mean? You wanna keep that. You know?
Yeah.
I do. You know what I mean? It's a good feeling. So it's like, well, let me put up another one. So I did the Dirk mix. I'm like, well, I gotta do the Von mix. They're all commenting, do Von, G Herbo, Pope, you know what I mean? Pop Smoke, just like all of these people. So I'm doing them. You know what I mean? I'm uploading them to King Von mix. That's like 75,000 right now. Did another one. You know, I'm just uploading, you know what I mean? And whatever ones didn't do the numbers I want, I'm taking them down. Whatever, leaving them up on my Instagram. And then I just did the Chicago Juke mix last Thursday. And that one took off. That's at like 250,000 right now.
Bro, I was gonna ask you about that, right? Because that's like house music.
Yeah.
And so when I first seen you like on Instagram, I showed it to my wife, and then I was like, man, what this little young dude know about this music, man? Because this is like our era, you know.
Right.
So how'd that come together? How did
how to get my knowledge like behind
right?
it? Well, I'm cool with a lot of other DJs, you know what I mean, that are your age or maybe a little bit older than me, you know what I mean, and they pass me down music, you know what I mean, and they're like, you know what I mean, they're like, this is what you need to, this is how it works, you know what I mean, this is how it goes. And me being in Chicago now, like, you pick up on the scene, you know what I mean, you know what people want to hear, so it's just kind of something like you adapt to, you know what I mean, you know what people want to hear, you got to learn the culture. If you're going to be somewhere, you got to know what to play, you know what I mean, you can't just go in and play what you want, you got to play what they want to hear, you got to play what's been played before. So I had to learn, you know what I mean, I had to get on it, and that's really just how.
Yeah, that's my shit, bro. Every song on there was like,
I had to hit them with the hits, you know what I mean?
Yeah. All right then, bro. Sure. I've been asking you questions for about half an hour, bro. Like, and I've been doing this lately. Like, you got any questions for me?
Yeah. So you say you're real big, like, you know what I mean, working with the youth and everything. So, what's one thing like you would want the youth to know that you've learned on your journey? You know what I mean, to get to where? What's one thing you would tell someone? You know what I mean, that's going down the wrong path, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Don't do this, don't do that. What's one thing you want them to keep in the back of their head, you know what I mean, all times during their path?
All right, so I work with a lot of like gang involved youth, right? And one of the most disappointing things that I see that's what is it, like common not in all of them, right? But the lack of vision. Like, they can't picture themselves doing certain things. And if it's one thing I can get through to like all these youngsters that I be around, like, man, you can do anything. If you can grind, like if you're ready to put the work in, you can pretty much do anything, man. And I just wish I wish they had a vision. You know what I'm saying? Like, set a goal for yourself and don't waste time. You can make anything back. You can't make time back. You know, right. I learned that the hard way, and that's why I'm so big on not wasting time. You know, like, I won't waste anybody's time, and just like, don't waste my time either. You know what I'm saying? So those are the two biggest things, man. I wish, like, have a vision for yourself, like, picture yourself doing something. You know, like, and then strive towards it. I tell some of the youngsters that I do music with, right? I got a financial goal for myself, right? I told them the number. I'm like, that's my goal, and everything I do is kind of revolves around that. Like, how does that fit in with my goal? You know, obviously I have my family and everything, and that's number one, first and foremost. But they asked me, like, "Oh, you ain't getting the new Jordans that came out?" I'm like, hell no. Yeah. Right there, they're on StockX for like 600 or some shit, right? Reselling. They're like, man, why not? You got it, you know what I'm saying? I told you what my goal is, right? I'm like, they're like, yeah. I'm like, all right. How does that fit in my goal? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, if I make moves like that, it's gonna keep me from getting there. It's gonna take me longer. So unless I could buy them and flip them and make some money off of it, like it doesn't fit in where I'm trying to go, right? So I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I like them. I like all them fucking shoes that come out, you know, but like, financially, it doesn't fit in with my goal. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like how I be trying to break it down to them. So that's one thing that, you know, I be trying to share with them all the time, you know. All right then, bro. Like I said, man, thanks for coming through, man. That's a dope ass sweater too.
Yeah, for sure. Love the city, for sure. Appreciate you for having me, man. Thank you.
All right, bro. Till next time, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all, man. And again, tell everybody where they can find you.
The Only DJ Drip, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, SoundCloud. Y'all know where to find me in there.
All right, man. And like and subscribe to the channel too, man. I'm trying to build this platform, man, and give more people a voice, man. All right, peace.
Cool.